One of them today, wasn't it? One of them. I've seen a bit of a mixed reaction on social media, Twitter in particular. I've seen some people say that, yeah, it was a decent performance, yeah, it was another good display. And I've seen some people say, yeah, we were poor. And to be honest, I think I fall into the latter category. I don't think we were all that today, to be honest. I think considering the amount of shots that we had and the amount of the ball that we had. I mean, if you take a look at the possession stats, we had 66% possession. We dominated the ball. The fact that we had that much of the ball and didn't do an awful lot with it, we've got to take the result that we got, take it on the chin and just move on. Because at the end of the day, we were playing a good side today, a very tough opposition that we couldn't break down that often. And I think we've got to take it and move on, to be honest, and head into next week. So, yeah, it finished at the Valley today. Charlton Athletic 1, Cambridge United 1. A fair result, to be honest with you. I think the draw was definitely the fair result, and it's a point against a good team. Like I said, you know, Cambridge were one of the more impressive teams I saw us play last season. I've been saying it for a while now. And Mark Bonner, you know, last season he drilled it into his side. You know, he gets them well organised and they do play like a unit. And they've carried that onto this season, to be honest. We struggled to break them down. I think in terms of goal scoring opportunities, Cambridge didn't really threaten that often. We had 15 shots, 4 on target. They had 10 shots, 3 on target. So both teams had a lot of efforts on goal, but neither keeper was really tested. It was just unfortunate from both of the goalkeepers' perspectives that the goals that were conceded by both of them were rebound. I don't think it's the end of the world. You know, it is still very early days, and after all, we are in the top 6. We're still unbeaten at home. Obviously, people are jumping on the negative bandwagon and are starting to take a little bit of an extreme level of it from what I've seen from a couple of people. But at the end of the day, I'm not getting too disheartened by it because, like I said, it's a point against a good side. So, yeah, I think I'll take that and we'll move into the Wycombe game and hopefully we can get a win on the board with that one. So, yeah, let's dive into this match reaction, shall we? We'll get into the starting 11. We made one change from the side. I've just done 2 there. One change. There you go. One change from the side that thumped Plymouth in midweek 5-1. We saw Ryan Inniss return to the fold in place of Sam Lavelle in the defensive position. The rest was obviously the same. Joe Wollacott in goal, Sean Clare, Eoghan O'Connell as Ryan Inniss' centre-back partner, and Charles Clayden getting another start at left-back. Midfield 3, George Dobson, Albie Morgan and Scott Fraser. I don't think that's changed at all since the beginning of the season. And then the front 3 was the same in Jesurun Rak-Sakyi on the right, Charlie Kirk on the left, and Jayden Stockley up front. Now, I'll be honest, I thought it was a little bit harsh on Lavelle coming out of the squad, especially after such a good performance in midweek. I thought he played really well, and O'Connell as well. I think they both put in some really good, solid defensive displays. But I'll be honest, I wasn't really, before the game anyway, I wasn't really that fussed in Inniss coming back into the fold because Cambridge are a physical side. And I think, you know, to have someone who is physical in Ryan Inniss, 6'6", you know, he's an absolute man mountain. I felt that I could see, I guess, Garner's reasoning. Our bench was McGillivray, Sam Lavelle, Richard Chin, one of our youngsters. Aaron Henry got a place on the bench as well. Then Jack Payne, Corey Blackett-Taylor and Miles Leaburn. Obviously, there were some notable absentees from the bench, in particular Stephen Sessignon and Conor McGrandles. Dealane Jaisimi wasn't on the bench either, but we'll get into that a bit later because I do want to discuss it in more detail. As for Cambridge, I knew they were going to present a challenge. Obviously, they were going into this game looking to, you know, bounce back after they got thumped in midweek, losing 4-1 to Portsmouth. But they are a good side, that's the truth, really. They are a good team, and they've got some good players. Sam Smith and Joe Ironside up front. Shiloh Tracy, a bit of a danger out wide. Paul Digby in the defensive midfield position. Obviously, former Charlton Academy graduate Dimitar Mitov in goal. You take a look at the midweek results, you saw that we won 5-1 and we saw they lose 4-1. So I knew exactly what was going to happen this game. Draw. I called it straight away. I backed us for the win. I said 2-0 before the game, but I knew straight away, I had a bit of an inkling before the game that this is going to end up as a draw, and of course it did. So getting into the game, first half, like I said in the intro, I thought we played well. I thought we played really well. Inside the first half, there was definitely some good passage of play. There was some good passing. We had a couple of good, decent opportunities. Mitov done really well to parry away a free kick. From Albie Morgan. Morgan, you know, he hit it really well, and it was going into the bottom corner. It was a really well hit free kick from Morgan, but Mitov done really well to get down and make the save. Cambridge had a couple of opportunities inside the first half. A couple of them, I think most of them, to be fair, were either fired wide or blasted over the bar. And I didn't really test Wollacott, really. We were giving the ball away a couple of times as well over the course of the game, which I was a bit disappointed with. And there were a lot of opportunities where Cambridge would just produce a long ball out to the right-hand side, and Clayden and O'Connell were getting a little bit exposed on that side. They found it quite easy to penetrate us down that side, but eventually we would deal with it, whether Cambridge's attacks ended up petering out or we would deal with it. Jesurun Rak-Sakyi, I mean, it wasn't his day today, in my opinion. I just think for most of the game, he was a bit of a passenger. Jayden Stockley had 2 opportunities inside the first half that he should have done a lot better with. I think he got played in really well by somebody. I think it was Fraser who produced the ball into him. And Stockley basically doesn't even look up, and he just takes a snapshot on the left foot and he dribbles it well wide at the far corner. You know, I felt, to be honest with you, he had enough time to look up and have a shot. And then the other one, where the ball was played in on the right-hand side, the cross come in from someone. And then Stockley, you know, he chests it down really well. He holds it up, and then he tries to shoot from like a 180-degree angle, tries to spin 180 degrees and hit a shot, and it's blocked by 3 Cambridge men. You know, like, what are you doing? You know, it's just things like that. You know, you're just trying to shoot from like odd angles and difficult positions, and I was a bit disappointed with that. And I was also disappointed with Charlie Kirk, not specifically in terms of, well, I think in terms of performance, it was okay, but his attitude. I remember where Scott Fraser hit a shot, you know, from outside the box, and it flew over the bar, and you could see Kirk, you know, shouting back and having a go at someone. His arms are like stropping about, like, do you know what I mean? And then there was one where Clayden, you know, he ran past him, he put a ball into the box, or tried to anyway, it was deflected out for a corner, and he's screaming at him from behind, like, you know, cut the ball back. Yes, Clayden could potentially have cut the ball back, but I don't like that, you know, I don't like that from Kirk. You know, it's obviously, it's come from frustration, of course, but I just don't like that, you know, just moping about and stropping about, you know, because like he ain't got hold of the ball, do you know what I mean? It was, of course, Charlie Kirk that was the instigator for our goal, which put us in front inside the first half through Scott Fraser, who, by the way, was outstanding today. I thought he really played well in the game. To be honest with you, I'd probably give him man of the match. I'd go as far as that. I think he played really well. But yeah, Kirk got the ball out on the right-hand side. I think Dobson produced the ball into him. I'm not too sure. Kirk produces a really good cross. It comes to Stockley at the back post. He fires. Mitov does really well to produce the save. But like I said, both goalkeepers, the goals we conceded today, were very unlucky, because Mitov produced a save, but it bounces over his head and it falls kindly to Fraser, who is there to head it into an open net. 4-1-0, his second of the season, levelling Miles Leaburn for top goal scorer now. We're already seeing a much better Fraser than what we did in the second half of last season. And I think Richard Cawley said, you know, we're seeing the MK Dons version of Scott Fraser, which, to be fair, today, I think we could probably say we did see that. Like I said, I think that was... I'll probably go as far as saying that is one of, if not the best performance I've seen from Fraser in a Charlton shirt. Like I say, I'd probably give him man of the match today. I think he was really good. His passing was excellent. You know, he was running the back of the place as well. He was getting forward nicely. Produced a couple of good passes, and obviously got the goal in the first half, which put us in front. That was obviously half time. We head into the break 1-0, and yeah, I think for the most part we played well inside the first half. You know, like I said, there was good passages of play. There was a couple decision making errors in the first half, shall we say. Like I said, Stockley should have done a lot better with the 2 opportunities he had. Rak-Sakyi wasn't really involved as much. Second half rolled around, and yeah, Cambridge grew into the game, really. I think we had a couple other opportunities, but yeah, like I said in the intro, with the amount of the ball that we had, you know, 66% possession, we dominated the ball, but we just didn't do an awful lot with it. Cambridge did grow into the game in the second half. You know, the momentum was sort of with them. I feel like there was a bit of a hesitance from us to, you know, come out and challenge them for the ball. It was, I don't know, it was quite strange. We just went a bit flat, a bit shaky. And obviously, Cambridge did eventually grab the equaliser through Harvey Nibbs. I think a shot, actually, Wollacott was actually forced into a good save. Beforehand, I remember someone took a shot from outside the box and he got down really well to make the save, and obviously he's come off his line quickly as another player was coming in for a rebound, and he does really well to collect the ball. But before then, I think it was a shot. I'm not sure. It was either a shot or a cross, but Wollacott got across really well to make the save, and then it falls into the path of a Cambridge man. I think initially it was a shot from the Cambridge player, but the shot just falls perfectly into the path of Nibbs at the back post, and he's there to just stab it into an open net again. You know, like I said, very unlucky from both goalkeepers. Wollacott especially, you know, to produce that good of a save and then to, you know, have that happen. It is disappointing, but I guess you could argue it was a goal that was coming, because Cambridge, you know, they were piling on the pressure. The momentum was with them, and it certainly was with them after they scored. You know, they were piling on the pressure. But to be honest, apart from Cambridge scoring that goal, after that stage, I don't think Wollacott was really tested. I think there was one where they hit a free kick which was aiming towards the Wollacott's left, and he got just enough off it to flick it out for a corner. Rak-Sakyi come off, he was replaced by Blackett-Taylor. Like I said, Rak-Sakyi, for the most part of the game, I think was a bit of a passenger. You know, he didn't really do much, and the bits that he did do, I think he did a bit too much. You know, I'm not scolding him, obviously it is his second game in a Charlton shirt, and there's obviously more to come, but I just felt today just wasn't his day, really, and Blackett-Taylor replaced him. Kirk come off, he was replaced by Leaburn. Like I said, I think Kirk was okay. I don't think he was brilliant. Obviously the cross he produced for Fraser's goal was really good, but like I said, I was a bit disappointed with his attitude, but that is just me. And then Scott Fraser was subbed off and was replaced by Jack Payne. I was quite surprised by that, considering I felt Fraser was, like I said, I think it was brilliant. I think he played really well today, and I was quite surprised that Albie Morgan stayed on ahead of him. A lot of people are getting on Morgan's back today. People saying, I've seen some people say he played really well, some people saying he was really poor. I don't think he was amazing. I think he produced some decent passing, and you know, you could see he liked to push forward a bit. And I think Garner, I would like to think anyway, that Garner has got the best out of him so far this season. I think he has put in some good performances. Today, I don't think he was quite at it. Today, he gave the ball away a couple of times. Obviously, Garner switched the system up. I think in the final 15 minutes, we went 4-2-2. Stockley and Leaburn went up front. Morgan was like on the left-hand side, which I thought was quite strange because Morgan just did not want to use his left foot whatsoever. You know, he wanted to just cut in on his right. There was a sheer reluctance to use his left foot. And then obviously Blackett-Taylor got subbed off. He went off with an injury, which is obviously not what we want to see whatsoever. It was Shiloh Tracy just comes in and absolutely clobbers him, and he was on a yellow card as well. And the fact that he was subbed off straight after that tells you everything you need to know, really. Garner actually said, you know, Tracy should have been subbed off, but it's worth mentioning the officiating in today's game was shocking. You know, they just seemed to give everything Cambridge's way. For the most part, you know, there were some controversial decisions in there. Hopefully the injury's not too serious. He obviously is being assessed right now. Aaron Henry replaced him. There was one opportunity that we had again through Stockley in the second half. Ball come in from Blackett-Taylor. Stockley, snatched it first time on the volley and he fired wide. Again, another opportunity missed by Stockley. And then nothing really happened, to be honest, towards the end of the game. Like I said, we dominated possession. We tried to get going, but we just didn't look like we wanted to move for each other for most of the game. We were quite static. And we had one last throw of the dice in the 95th minute. Ball come into the box. I think there was a bit of a scrap initially. It falls to Leaburn. He takes it on first time, but Mitov does enough to keep it away. And yeah, that was it, to be honest. That was it for the game. Charlton Athletic 1, Cambridge United 1. I think we've got to take it on the chin, really. No pun intended, with Richard Chin being on the bench. But yeah, I think we've got to take it, to be honest. Cambridge, you know, like I said, they are a good side. They do perform like a unit. You know, Mark Bonner gets that team well organised, and we struggled to break them down for the most part of the game. To be fair, I'll probably say same with Cambridge. You know, Wollacott, apart from the couple of saves that he pulled off in the second half, wasn't really tested. The same with Mitov. I just felt for the most part in the second half we fell a bit, you know, static. You know, it didn't really look like we wanted to move for each other. And yeah, at the end of the day, it's more missed opportunities, especially from Jayden Stockley. And it isn't getting annoying to me now because Stockley has missed so many opportunities this season. He's missed 3 today, which he should have done a lot better. You know, the dragged shot on his weak foot, the trying to shoot from a 180-degree angle, trying to spin round and shoot. He should be doing a lot better there. And then the volley as well at the back post. Realistically, and I'm being serious with this, if Stockley would have taken those chances, he should have at least 5 or 6 goals already going into this season. He should be the top scorer. I'm being deadly serious, you know. Against Accrington, you know, he headed a header straight at the keeper, and then he had a free header in the second half, which he fired wide. He headed 2 headers at Joe Wildsmith against Derby. I didn't watch the Sheffield Wednesday game, so I don't know about that. He missed an opportunity against Plymouth as well. He headed it straight at the keeper. Even for Rak-Sakyi's goal, you know, he's won a header and the keeper saved it. He's got to do better, and he done the same thing in the second half. And then today, he's missed 3 more opportunities. He should be on at least 5 or 6 goals this season. And I can understand the fans' frustration, you know, with people saying, oh yeah, we need a striker, because, you know, we do need a clinical finisher. Stockley is missing these opportunities. He's got 1 goal this season, and that was from a penalty. And it was a penalty that he didn't even win. Do you know what I mean? Like, he needs to start taking these opportunities. And he said it himself after the Plymouth game. You know, he jokingly said, you know, I'm getting, you know, I just keep heading them straight at the keeper at the moment. You know, he is frustrated. We know that. But he needs to start putting those away. And it does, you know, fuel the argument that we need a striker, because, you know, Stockley is missing too many opportunities at the moment. Chuckson-Eke is just missed the glass at the moment. He's just constantly getting injured, and he's got another setback. And then you've got Leaburn, who, credit to him, he's playing really well, but at the end of the day, he is young. You know, we can't really rely on him, so we do need another striker. But I'm going to go back to what I just mentioned there with Chuckson-Eke and the injuries, because I'm getting concerned with that now as well, because injuries are starting to hit us, and they're starting to hit what is, let's face it, a small squad. You know, I spoke about Stephen Sessegnon and Conor McGrandles not being on the bench today, and also Jayden. All three of them are injured. You know, Sessegnon has got, I think, a calf injury or something to do with his leg. McGrandles fractured his hand against Plymouth and he's had to have surgery with it. Jayden, not many people know this, but he did pick up a knock in training. As I reported when I was on work experience with Charlton this week. I didn't even know he had an injury, but yeah, Terry Smith said in Ben Garner's presser while I was sat there that Jayden had a knock, and I was like, oh right, I didn't know that. And obviously these three add to Chucksanike, who's got a setback, Mandela Egbo, who's injured, who I think is, to be fair, is very close to recovery now, and then now Blackett-Taylor, who's got an injury, and I'm sure that he's going to be out for maybe a bit of a period, you know, do you know what I mean? And Sessegnon and McGrandles are set to be out for a couple of weeks as well. Injuries are already hitting this squad. We've got 5 or 6 injuries already in what is a thin squad. I mean, Sessegnon is a concern, you know, him being out injured. You know, we've got Charles Clayden, who is our only left-back option at the moment, and he's not a left-back. I said it in the previous video against Plymouth, and I'm saying it again today. You know, yes, people will say that he played well, you know, he got forward really well. The reason why is because he is a winger. And I look at his performance today, especially from a defensive aspect, because he's playing left-back. That is his main duty at left-back, to defend. And I didn't really see him do an awful lot of that today. Again, like against Plymouth, I didn't see a lot from the defensive duty. He done well going forward. He was a threat. However, I have concerns in terms of the defensive side of the game. And with Sessegnon now injured, we need another left back. We need a natural left back in that position. It's as simple as that. We do need bodies, you know, no disrespect to the likes of Aaron Henry and Richard Chin. You know, it's really good to see them get involved in the squad, but we can't rely on them. You know, we can't just chuck them into the deep end just because we've got senior players out injured. You know, we do need to add bodies to this squad, and I think everybody knows that. Everybody needs to see that as well. This isn't me being negative, obviously, because we've not won a game. I'm just stating the blatant obvious. Injuries are hitting us, and we know in the past that injuries have badly affected us, and they're hitting us already. And this team is a thin squad. We need to add bodies. Obviously, Garner has said today we need a centre-back. Yeah, cool. I don't really have much against that. But we also need another left-back, and we need a striker. We do need a striker. We do. It's as simple as that. If Stockley's missing that many opportunities and Chucks is barely fit, we do need another option up front. At the end of the day, we're still unbeaten at home. You know, we're still inside the top 6, and, you know, there were some decent performances out there today. Like I said, Scott Fraser was outstanding. He was the man of the match today. Dobson, again, was impressive. O'Connell had another good game at centre-back, in my opinion. Clare, again, was decent. Clayden, like I said, done well going forward, but the defensive aspect needs work, and he's not a left-back, let's be honest. He's not a natural left-back, so I do have slight concerns from that perspective, but I did think he played well. He was a threat going forward. Ryan Inniss, I don't think he was all that today, to be honest, and the same with Albie Morgan. But yeah, I think taking Lavelle out of the squad was a bit harsh, and I would like to see Lavelle come back into the side in place of Inniss. Wollacott was barely tested, but when he did, obviously he pulled off again some good saves, but was unlucky with the goal that he conceded. Morgan, I don't think he played terribly, but I don't think he was brilliant either. You know, there was some good passing, but like I said, it was when he went over the left-hand side, there was a reluctance to use his left foot, and he gave the ball away a couple of times today. Charlie Kirk, I thought he was okay, but the attitude was a bit of a letdown for me, but again, that is just me. Stockley missed way too many opportunities, but again, I felt had an okay game. You know, he clearly was a threat, and he was working. Rak-Sakyi was a bit of a passenger. I'm not too bummed out by the result. I think it's, you know, it's a result against a good side that we need to take, but hopefully we can bounce back and head into the Wycombe game and grab a victory. So that is it for this match reaction, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did, can you possibly leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and turn on the post notifications so you are notified of every time I upload a new video. What do you guys think of the game? Let me know in the comments below. Unfortunately, there won't be a match reaction from me for the Wycombe game, as I am going on holiday. I will be away from the 23rd on Wednesday until Monday the 29th, so there won't be any videos from me during that period. I might get a League One transfer room roundup video out to you guys before I head away, but this has been Tyler Robinson. Have a nice day, and I will see you all in the next video. Take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all then.